Hello and welcome to Petrosys webinars. My name is Jason Dixon. I'm the training coordinator here at Petrosys, and today I'll be running through the new log signature feature which we released in Petrosys PRO 2019.2. Please note that this webinar will be recorded, so please hold your questions until the end and I'll answer your questions then, and then we will put this webinar up on our website so that you can view it later on as well. So today we'll run through an agenda, a bit of an introduction about what Petrosys log signature maps are about, how we set those up and the display panel for those, what they look like on the map, and then I'll run through a demonstration on how we set those up, and then some final thoughts on the log signature maps. So introduction. In 2019.1 of Petrosys PRO we released the log exchange, which allowed us to shift logs between different platforms, so we could pull logs out of Doug and push them into Patrol, for example. In Petrosys PRO 2019 we built on that, and we now support the displaying of log signatures on a map, so we can display logs on a map sheet. So we can now connect to our interpretation package and display a wide variety of well log curves directly onto the Petrosys PRO mapping canvas. So the logs that we support are from Doug Insight, Kingdom, ODM, OpenWorks, Paradigm Epos and Patrol. We also can display logs if we have DLIS or LAS files catalogued through our records management system in DBMap. So if we have a PPDM38 version of DBMap with logs catalogued against that, we can find those and display those on our map as well. We can also use style templates, so we can save how the log signatures look, save those as a template and then use those in other projects and share those with our peers so that they can display log signatures that are consistent style across our organisation. So now we'll have a look at the display panel and how we set up log signatures. So under the display wells option, we now have a log signature tab, and that allows us to turn on log signatures, and then we can do the first part we need to do, which is create our curve classes. So the curve class is a group of logs that are under the same class. So here we have a gamma ray curve class, and under gamma ray we have the GR, GRSL and all the different gamma rays that we have stored in our project that we want to use. The log at the top is the one that's selected in preference to all of the others, so if we have a GR log it'll select that instead of a GRSL. If the GR is missing it'll then go down the list until it finds one that we have in the project that we can display, and we can fully change the order of that list to be how we want it, our preferences to be. Once we've set up our curve classes, they will display in our layout style, so we can click on the layout style window here and edit that style, or we can select modify layout style there, and that will open up the same panel that we can then edit the style. Once we're happy with that style, we can save that as a template, and then we can use that later on, and our peers can also load those templates if we save those to the site level. We can also display header text, so we can display the well name on top of the log signature if you want to move that away from the well, and then be able to read which log signature is from which well. And we can also display formation tops and select which formation tops we want to display. We can select all or just select a few of them that we're interested in. Once we've set that up, we can then set up our depth range, whether that be the type subsea, downhole or true vertical depth, and the units can be metric or imperial. And then we can also select whether we want to display the top depth from a surface to the bottom hole, or from a formation top to a formation top, or from a formation top to the bottom hole, or specify some specific depths that we want to use. Here we've selected formation tops. We've selected two different formation tops and applied a buffer above and below those. So we're going to display the logs 50 metres above the Birkhead and 150 metres below the Hutton Sandstone. And then we can select the posting location, whether that's going to be at the surface hole, bottom hole, or a formation along that track if we have a deviated well path. And then we can select whether the width of the track is how wide that log signature will post on our map, and the height scale ratio, so the height millimetre on the map per how many metres of log track. And then we can specify where we want that to display against the well, whether that's the right side of the well, left, above, below and so forth. And we can also just have control over the colour and the border styles, so we can customise the way that log signature looks on our map. In the map template panel, We can select to turn on all of the curve classes that we've selected, or we can turn them off and just select the ones that we want to display. So we can add those in by ticking them on and remove them by unticking them. So we may not want to show the depth and the formation tops, we may just want to show a gamma ray, for example. So then we would turn everything off except the gamma ray curve class. We can then change the order as well. So here we can select the depth and drag that across. We're using the mouse, click and drag, and we can display those between other tracks. We can change the order so we can bring the formation tops in the middle and so forth. We can also combine tracks. So if we want to have density neutron on the one track, we drag and drop from one on top of the other, and that will display both of those curves in the one track. We can change the widths by clicking and dragging, and we can also edit the gradicules and the log linear track style by clicking on the green banner at the top here, and that'll allow us to edit how those gradicules, which are the lines here, how they're displayed, and also whether we want to display the track as a log track or a linear track. The log traces can also be edited for colour. So here we've got brown, blue and red displayed. Thickness, so we can make those thicker lines, and we can also display fill. So in this example here we've got gamma rays filled to the edge, and density in this track is filled to the neutron track. So on one side crossover it'll be brown, and crossovers the other way it'll be yellow. So on the map, what does that look like? So once we've displayed it on the map, we can see our log signatures are displayed, and we can then use over post correction. We can drag the location of these log signatures around. We can hide log signatures that we don't want to display, and we can also draw arrows back to the parent well. So if we drag the log signatures off out of the way, we can draw an arrow to which well path that is from. So now we'll run through a bit of a demonstration on how that actually works. So here I have Petrosys mapping open. I've got a depth surface displayed from Patrol and some wells displayed from Patrol project. So you can see here I've got the wells on the map. So to modify the wells, I've double click on that layer. On the log signatures tab, I can tick on display log signatures. The first thing I need to do is add a curve class. So I can type in the name of the curve class. Here I'll type in gamma. I can filter if I want, so I type in G to find in all the gamma-ons, and this is the gamma ray track that I want to select. Click OK to that. I'll now have gamma, and you can see that I've got a log curve displayed in my template. So I can click on that to open up the template. I can see I can turn on depth, I can turn on formation tops and edit the colour that they will be if I want to display those, but I'll cancel those. I won't display formation tops in this instance. I can drag the gamma ray to the other side. I can double click in the top here, and then I'm going to change the scale from 0 to 200. I'll then change the colour of the line. I'm going to make this one brown. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Okay, and then I want to display a fill, and I'm going to display a yellow fill to the right hand side, and I'm going to change the opacity of that fill as well, so we can display that to the edge. Click OK, and now you can see here I've got a log displayed. This is just a generic log. It's not actually read from any project, it's just an indication of what it will look like. So click OK to there, and our layout style is updated. We can then save that if we wanted to, and save that to the project level, the site level, or the user level for other people to use. To display header text, I can type in free text here if I wanted to, or I can click on the plus button, scroll down and select that I want to display the well name in this example. So we can select whichever one we want to do there from the well header information from the source. I can then select where I want that to display, the depth range. So this instance I'm going to select true vertical, leave it as metric, and I can select depth, zone base, zone top. So here I'm going to select a formation top, and I'm going to select the top target, and I'm going to give that a buffer of 20 above, and we'll do the same for the base, but this time we'll select top active and we'll go 20 metres below. The posting location here, because I've got lots of deviated wells, I'm going to post those at bottom hole so that they display spread out a bit more. The track width I'll leave at 25, and the height, again millimetres on the map against metres of track, I'll leave that as 1:1 for now, and we can display those above right, below left and so forth. I'll go above left for this example, and I'm going to leave the style the same. So if I click OK to that, now on my map you'll see that we have our log signatures displayed, and we've got a bit of an overlap here, so I can zoom in and then click on my log signature or my wells, right click, over post correct, and now you can see we have a log signature under over post correct as well. So I can then click and drag these out and away from each other. Once I'm happy with that, click OK, and the log signatures are now displayed without any overlap. I may also want to display some more log curves on this track, so I can double click on my well layer, and under curve classes I'm going to add a porosity, so I'll call it PRO, and we'll filter on porosity. So we can select, I'm going to select this porosity, actually I'll select the top one and click OK to that, and I'll now have porosity in my list to display from, and I'll add another one. In this instance I'm going to select net to gross, and I'll just type in N and we'll select net to gross, OK to that, and now I have net to gross in my track as well. And you can see that the template has updated, it now has 2 more logs in there. So I'll click on that, and in this instance I'm going to drag net to gross on top, and I'm going to change my porosity to be from 0 to 0.3, and I'll leave that as green. OK there, and the net to gross I'm going to go from 1 to 0, and I'm going to do a fill as well. So I can double click on this, and then I can do a fill, right fill, do this as yellow. Okay, and then instead of that I'm going to go to a curve, and it's automatically picked up net to gross because that's the only one I have in there. So now I'll have a net to gross fill on my log. Click OK to that, click OK there. And one thing I forgot to do was change the width of the track, so I'll go back and do that shortly. So you can see now that we have our net to gross displayed here with our what I'll do now, down the bottom, I'll just double that out to 50, and I'll change that as well because that was the wrong way around. Change that to left, curve, net to gross, change that to yellow, OK, turn that one off, OK, 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 and now my maps will display with a wider log signature and a fill between my net to gross. So where I have my sands, I also have my net to gross being filled out with a colour saying that that is good reservoir rock. And you can see we now have some extra tracks that have appeared, so I may want to remove those tracks because they only have a net to gross, they don't have the other information that I want. So we can zoom in, select the well, right click, over post correct for log signatures. This one here I'm going to select as hidden, and I'm going to move a few of these around so they don't overpost each other. Click OK, and now my map is displayed with my log signatures, my gamma ray, my depth, and my reservoir sands displayed. So I hope that was useful for you, and now I'll go back and have a look at some final thoughts on how the log signatures work. So final thoughts. So log signatures are a great way to quickly identify trends on a map, so we can look at sand versus shale and try and figure out where our thicknesses of good sand reservoir are compared to our shale. We can compare wells visually at a glance, so we can quickly look at the wells and say, okay, this well has a lot of shale, this well has a lot of sand, we know which area we want to focus on. And then when used with a matching grids, they're a great QC tool and interpretation tool. So we can see with isopack grids, we can look at thicknesses of our sands and shales and so forth. The log signatures are fully customisable for logs, so we can display a variety of different logs in different colours, different styles, add fills between either the logs or the edge track and change the size and the way that those logs are displayed. And they can be saved, the templates can be saved for sharing amongst our projects and other users, and then we can open up those in other projects. So remember that we have some self-learning in Petrosys, so if you have any webinars that you want us to view, such as this one, we can log on to the Petrosys portal, click on the Learn tab, and filter and find things that might help us do our workflows. And if you need any training in Petrosys, contact us at Petrosys. We have training on our website and some standard courses. We can also set up customised courses for in-house training for whatever your needs may be. So if you have any questions, please ask now. Thank you for your time, and